Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Anime Podcasters, episode 40. Here we are. We have two amazing guests with us. My amazing co-host, Hotshot. How's it going, buddy?
Hello. I'm feeling dead inside.
Why?
Because you're here. This is our thing.
Our thing is going to be including another amazing guest today. And who is that guest? GoProKyo, how are you?
A heartbroken GoProKyo. Cheyenne only contacts me for artwork. That's all he wants me for anymore.
That's a fair point. And you always just whore it out to him.
Artwork and guest spot on the podcast. Come on now.
No, we had to pay him for this.
Don't tell him that. Talking about the podcast, I have some quick housekeeping notes I want to get through. Today's topic is greatest anime villains number 2. We've done this podcast before on episode 6, and we have the same panel. We have 5 picks of anime villains that we're going to be going through each. It's going to be a great podcast. I'm very excited. It's a great way to kick off episode 40. We're now in the 40s. This is crazy. So first of all, a really cool announcement. Anime Podcasters is officially on Spotify. Woo! So I guess that's an extra platform to be on. It's really cool. I didn't even know you could podcast on Spotify, but now we can. We're there, so you can download the podcast on Spotify if that is your preferred platform. Also, big announcement. A couple episodes back, Hotshot, remember how I mentioned to you that the podcast was at 1,000 plays on iTunes?
Yes.
What if I told you that amount doubled?
Is it at 2 now?
Yeah, we're at 2,000.
Oh,
Nice.
So that's
Were you saving that
crazy.
just for the podcast so I would actually respond to it?
Yes.
We build this together. I should know these things.
No, it was a surprise. I mean, it's really cool that we've gone to that amount. So with us being at episode 40, I'm going to also be working on getting some special guests on the podcast. And finally, since we've done this podcast before, the same topic, we had previous picks, obviously. So just very quickly to mention them so you guys know that we're not going to be picking them. We had like Yu Yu Hakusho villains. We had Frieza, Cell, Boo. Do you guys remember any characters you picked in the first podcast?
I know a couple of mine were from shows that weren't very big. I know I picked a character from Afro Samurai, and then one of them was from some very short show that I don't think anybody's heard of before.
I think I took Light before you guys had a chance to.
Did you?
I think so.
I thought he did.
I think I did. Because you hate Death Note.
That's true.
Well, yeah, but I still appreciate a good villain.
I hate this villain so much, I'm picking it first.
Well, yeah.
Well, why not?
If you hate someone enough, shoot them. I'm kidding. Do not actually do this.
No, don't do that. So today we have a brand new set of villains. Who would like to go first with their villains
Who's
list?
been in the podcast the longest?
Okay, I'm gonna go first. Fine. I am picking from Dragon Ball. I'm picking Broly. Basically, I'm picking the legendary Saiyan Broly. Obviously, he comes through in a bunch of movies. We see him where it's him versus Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Trunks, and he really just destroys them all the time. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, why would you pick Broly? Because he's not canon. He's only been in movies. Well, guess what? Dragon Ball Super movie, he's back, and Dragon Ball Super is canon. Therefore, Broly is now canon. This guy is a powerhouse with his ki blast, his attacks. He can really be absolutely insane, and all he wants is to destroy Kakarot. He's like, Kakarot! That's all he can think of for breakfast, lunch, dinner. He just wants to destroy Goku, and he really gives them a big run for their money, because with his power and all of the strength he possesses, he basically needs to be ganged up on in order to be defeated. I know there was the movie where it was like Goten and Trunks versus Cyber Broly, like he was like a big mud pile or something, and it was Android 18. I am not picking that Broly. That Broly can go back in the mud pile for all I care. So Broly is my first villain. I'm really excited to see what he's going to be doing in Super. Absolutely amazing villain in my opinion. I'm happy he's considered canon. If I had to pick like one non-canon character to become canon, it would be Broly for sure.
I love how Broly is the legendary Super Saiyan, and we don't even meet him until we've met like 7 other Super Saiyans.
Right. But it's also the fact that he's not canon. That's why we meet him later. Like this is the big thing. He's not canon until just recently when it was announced that the Dragon Ball Super movie, the big villain in it, is Broly.
Well, I mean, I get that. It's just kind of funny that like he is the legendary Super Saiyan, and I'm just over here like, dude, there's like 5 of us already.
Right.
True.
Get in line.
The thing is, I wonder if he's going to be able to use Ultra Instinct in the movie, because obviously Kakarot, legendary Saiyan as well, uses Ultra Instinct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and since we've kind of established that anybody can be Super Saiyan God at this point, it could happen.
I mean, I really just enjoy this villain like so much, just from an action point of view, like action packed, absolutely a powerhouse.
No, yeah, all the fights with Broly are really fun to watch. It's just like the core of him, just super or legendary Super Saiyan, throws me off because it's like, okay, yeah, it takes like 5 Super Saiyans to take him down, but you're missing the point here. There's 5 Super Saiyans fighting against the legendary Super Saiyan.
Right. Obviously, Church. Any thoughts on Broly?
Broly Smash.
Basically, he's like the Hulk.
I think that's the honest to God reason why a lot of people like Broly is because he's the Dragon Ball equivalent for Hulk or Venom, basically, and he's just he's basically an embodiment of a tank, like a human tank, and I think that's what people like about him. He's not really a
thinker.
Yeah, he's not a mental villain or a psychological villain. He's very much just a physical villain. I think sometimes that's all you need.
Sometimes you just need a villain who can wreck some shit.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely just tears everything with his punches and his ki blast. And I'm looking here. Apparently, he has a Super Saiyan 4 transformation in Dragon Ball Heroes. Like he's cut from the same cloth as our favorite characters like Goku and Vegeta. And the fact that he's now canon, makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm excited to see what kind of damage he's gonna be doing in this movie. Also, like in the previews, we see him go toe to toe with Frieza and Vegeta and Goku, and like obviously the last time we saw Broly, it was Dragon Ball Z, and now we're in Dragon Ball Super, right? Like, a lot of time has gone by, and I guess it's kind of crazy to see that Broly still matches up with these guys, even though all that time went through.
Well, I mean, he's almost died how many times now, so he always gets a power boost from it.
I mean, there's that, but it's also the fact that, yeah, that's true. That is a good point. That's all I had on Broly. If you guys want to go to your next picks,
I think we're good on Broly.
Yep.
We've had enough of our Brolys. We've had enough Broly.
I've had enough Broly. I'm done with the guy. It's over. Die already. And
we all ate our Brolys.
Stay dead this time.
So I don't know. Like, did you put a spoiler warning for this whole thing?
Spoiler warning. There we go.
Spoiler warning. I mean, we're discussing villains, so yes, spoiler warning right now.
My villain is from Full Metal Alchemist, specifically from Brotherhood, and that is Father Hollenheim, and this character is the basically the puppet master behind the entirety of the Brotherhood series. He is the one who's controlling the homunculi, basically the 7 deadly sins in a way, and it's he's basically a clone of the Elric brothers' father.
He's the mastermind behind all of these, I guess all the plot lines, all the crazy moments. He's the one like creating them, is what you're saying?
Yeah, he's basically playing everybody into his hands, and it's working out specifically in his favor, and I think it's really cool to see a character who not only has a lot of power but also has a lot of influence. I think the word is. I like villains who are not just who aren't just thinkers, because I think it's good for a villain or a character to have smarts in a way. It's also really cool to have a villain who's smart and powerful, and it's a really kind of a scary combination the more you think about it.
Right. I understand how you're describing his, like, he's the mastermind, therefore, like, I see him a bit as a puppet master when you're describing him. You're saying he's very smart, and I can see that through, like, your explanation, but how do you like, can you give me an example? You said he's also powerful. Like, what about him is powerful?
Aside from the fact that he controls, these 7 creatures who he basically made out of nothing. He's also strong enough to use alchemy to his benefit. Like, he can use it however he wants to. He doesn't have to abide by the laws of physics, basically. Pretty much, he could basically do whatever he wants to, but he knows that in order for his plan to work, he has to kind of guide people in a certain way in order for things to go the way that he wants it to go.
Austin, do you have any thoughts on this villain, Father? What do you think about it? What do you think about this villain?
I'm agreeing with Kyo when he says that we do like villains that are smart and powerful. Unfortunately, with Father, personally, I don't have a whole lot to add on him because I'm not that far in Brotherhood.
I'm down to like the last 15 episodes, I want to say.
I'm in the first 15 episodes, I want to say.
I haven't started the anime yet.
Austin might be into the second season. I don't remember where we left off though.
I actually have to check because I know I've watched more than 15 episodes. I was just kidding.
Yeah.
But I actually don't remember where exactly I am.
Austin, your turn in that case. Go ahead. What's your first pick?
All right, speaking of FMA, Kyo, I'm going to need your help on this one.
Okay.
My first villain is one of the homunculi created by Father, and that is I don't remember his actual canon name, but he is the Sin of Wrath.
That's what they go by. They go by the names of their sins.
Yeah, but when he's undercover, when he's with the alchemist, what's he go by?
He is the spoilers again. He's Führer Bradley. He's the leader of the country.
Yeah, so that guy.
Yeah.
Why are you picking this guy? Do you even know this guy?
I do know this guy
he does.
because I have seen Bradley in the actual show, and I have seen him turn evil. Well, I mean, he was always evil. He was just basically playing it up, so he actually had power. But I'm picking him because he's one of those underhanded villains. The one who's not afraid to do the dirty work. The one that will actually plant a seed of trust in you, and then when he betrays you, you don't really know how to react, and he can just cut you down in less than the blink of an eye. Like, he's a betrayal villain, is what I call him. And I'm calling him that because he has all this power of all the country, controlling the alchemists and controlling, basically making all the shots, and all of it is just to further his plan further.
Okay, I see what you mean. So you say it was a betrayer. What's the biggest backstabbing thing you could say he's done, or is that like a part of his character you've not seen enough yet of?
I haven't seen enough. I do know that Ed and Al reveal who he is, right, to the other alchemists?
Yeah.
Okay. So once he's revealed, basically he kills everybody. He takes care of all of the alchemists, essentially. Like, basically wipes all of them out.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially.
He doesn't wipe out all of them right away. He kind of does it in a more tactful way. He goes from, as the leader of his country, he's kind of got more influence than anyone else does, so he basically has the final say on everything.
Mm.
And the reason it's Führer, because it's based on German culture. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think that the best way to describe him is he's an underhanding, unexpected villain, and I think he's probably one of my favorite of the two. Like, between him and Father.
Mm.
But I had to put a number 5 spot in there somewhere, so... it's the reason I put him at number 5 is because he's not in the show as much as...
Okay, I see what you mean. That's interesting. I don't I haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist, but with Father, does Father like control him completely? Like, I'm just trying to understand, like, depict where he stands. Like, what's his relationship with Father? Since you guys picked him back to back, there's obviously like connected in between the two. So what's like? Does Father tell him exactly what to do? I'm just trying to understand like the setup.
Well, Father is essentially Bradley's father, like in the word. So
Wait, what?
Isn't he?
Who?
Father.
Yeah, Father's the father.
Yeah.
I thought you said it the other way around.
When it comes to
Bradley
Bradley, you are the father.
Woo! No! No! You will die. Anyway, the relationship between them is Father is Bradley's and the rest of the homunculi's actual father, and they will do whatever he says, more or less without question.
Gotcha. Interesting.
So like all of those characters, all the homunculus characters are
so wrath, lust, gluttony, envy, basically 7 deadly sins. Sorry.
Yeah, all of those characters are essentially under Bradley's control. Like, he doesn't control them necessarily, but he is essentially their master or father or whatever you want to go ahead and call him. He's basically their leader.
He is their king.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, let's go to my next pick. I am picking from Cowboy Bebop. I am picking Vicious.
It's a good pick. I'm not gonna lie.
You guys are on your own.
Yeah. Vicious
Should we leave
is.
Austin out of this for a second?
I don't know. If you don't want to be spoiled, Austin, it's up to you. I don't know if you're gonna ever watch Cowboy Bebop.
I've watched like 5 episodes that are like 20 episodes apart from each other, so.
All right. So basically, and Kyo, you've watched this series too, so if I get stuff wrong, like, feel free to correct me. He's the big final villain of Cowboy Bebop. Vicious, basically, he attempted this coup, it didn't work out, and he, towards the end of the anime, basically the end of the anime, he captures Spike, not Spike, one of Spike's teammates, Faye, and as a way, and lets Faye contact Spike as a way to get Spike come to him and get rid of Spike. His goal is to eliminate Spike. He's very similar to Spike in the way that, like, they're both cynical individuals, but, like, I'd say he's more of a sociopath. Like, clearly this individual lacks all kinds of empathy. He just wants to get rid of Spike. He just wants to kill his opponent. Very, very, very evil character as a human, and this guy doesn't have specific powers. He's just like a human being, but he's very, very, like, I'm trying to, like, crazy, insane, out of his mind, and he basically, I don't know, like, the theories, but it said that he kills Spike basically at the end, but Spike eliminates him by leaving a grenade. The reason why I'm really picking him is because of the rivalry he has against Spike, and throughout the entire anime, we see, like, he's lightly referred to, and we really see him in action towards the end, and he packs the punch that a villain, a greatest anime villain should pack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like he's respected in the sense that, like, this guy is evil. This guy is not good. This guy will never be considered to be good. Yeah, that's my opinion. I know, Kyo, you've seen Vicious in action. I really would like to hear your thoughts.
I like to think of Vicious as, like, Spike's opposite. He's not, or, like, it's kind of like they're the same person in the aspect that they're cool and calculated and they're very smart, but I think the real difference between the two of them is their code of morality. Like, the fact is, Vicious he's kind of a power seeker, from what I can tell. It's been a while since I watched the show, but best I can say is probably he's kind of like he's kind of like an animal in the sense that you can't really see the wheels turning in his head. He's one of those people you can't get behind the curtain in a way and, like, his next move is going to be. Like, the only person who could possibly figure that out is probably Spike, because they think in the same way, in a sense, and it's a little hard to explain. Like, it's more of a you have to see this character to really kind of get him.
Right.
It's not really something that you can necessarily describe. I might feel that way with a lot of them. It's a little harder to just kind of get my thoughts out like that. But
let me
I hope that makes sense.
Let me attempt a comparison and tell me if you agree or disagree.
Okay.
Sorry. Jet is Vash and Spike is Knives.
You mean Vicious?
Yeah, Vicious. Sorry, Vicious is Knives. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Is there any similarity when I say that? I feel like there is. They're not brothers, they're not related by blood, but these have that, like, good-evil relationship, like, what the hell's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah. I would say it's pretty similar, but I wouldn't say it's quite on the nose there. I would say that with Vash and Knives, it's more about them seeing a different point of view. Like, they're actually, you know what? I think you might be right on that. They're just about kind of in the same boat, except the difference is that between these two sets of people is that with Vash and Knives, they can't really avoid each other because they're family. Family is 100% connected. Like, there's no way you can cut that off unless you kill that person. Obviously, that's not the smart idea. But the best way I can describe it is that It's different simply because Vash can't get rid of knives, not because he physically can't. It's that he doesn't want to cross that line because he doesn't want to be exactly the same as his brother, basically.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And with Spike and Vicious, I feel like it's more so about Vicious seeks power, but I want to say that Spike is more so just looking to live his life however he feels fit, and beyond that, that's the best way I can describe it, I think.
I mean, that's a pretty good comparison. Hotshot, is there anything else you would like to add before moving on to Kyo's pick?
Nope.
All right, Kyo, your turn.
Cool. My next pick is Goku Black from Dragon Ball Super.
Yes, I love this guy.
For me, this is a much more kind of straight-laced kind of one for me, because like I kind of have an answer for this one. I have a much more clear-cut answer as to why I picked this one in particular.
Okay, and that answer would be?
That answer would be is that it's the fact that it's basically the same character as Goku, except he gives off a aura of evil. Like, he is very clearly evil. Like, there's no hoot about it. Like, nobody would tell you otherwise.
No hoot about it?
Yeah.
I've never heard that phrase.
No?
That is what I'm taking away from this pick.
That's the best thing. Okay, then.
Sorry, go ahead.
What do you think, Jaian?
I mean,
do you think that's accurate?
I mean, I think it's accurate. I also think what's important to note about Goku Black is the fact that he's from Future Trunks' timeline. Future Trunks was able to get rid of Cell and everything when he comes back, and he manages to figure out how to take care of Boo when he comes back as well. He kills off Babidi, so Boo never happens in the future. But then Goku Black shows up, and he's such a threat that Future Trunks has no other choice but to go to the past and recruit Vegeta and Goku to go back to the future and deal with Goku Black. And they have to like go back and forth a couple of times with the time machine. It kind of works out, doesn't work out a bunch of times. Goku Black also works with Zamasu in Counterpart. So I think he's a good pick for sure. But without Zamasu, he really isn't as big of a threat as I feel like he would have been. But he is obviously a super, super evil character. A great example of this would be, so Future Trunks goes back to the past for the very first time, right? And he wakes up after being beat up, and he sees Goku for the first time, like the OG Goku, like our Goku, and he's like, "Oh, you're Goku Black," and he starts fighting Goku, and Goku's like, "What are you doing? I'm Goku." He's like, "I know you're Goku," and he starts like trying to attack you. Like, you see what I mean? Like, this is the impact that this character has on Trunks. So yeah, no, good pick.
Yeah, the main reason that I picked main reason I picked that character is because for one, I haven't seen very much of Dragon Ball Super. I've only seen clips thus far. I do plan to check it out at some point. But the biggest reason that I picked him was because of his aura, like just the vibe that the character gives off. Like there's no question about it that it's an evil Goku, and that's a frightening concept. If you already know like Dragon Ball really well, you'd be like, "Oh, that's Goku. Goku's evil," or you know. He
also goes Super Saiyan Rose. Just saying.
Yeah.
Pink Super Saiyans. How do you feel about Pink Super Saiyans being evil, Hotshot?
On Goku Black specifically, no, just because I haven't really seen a whole lot of him. But the concept of him I really like, because I've always liked the evil versions of other characters cliche. Like, for example, let's go ahead and take a popular show, Rick and Morty. Like, I love Evil Morty. Like, Evil Morty is best Morty.
I feel like the cliche of a reversal, like good to evil, is overused. But I feel like Goku Black kind of isn't like I know I know he's evil Goku, but it's not cliche to me in the sense that I feel like his motives and the way he goes about his motives and really like trying to take out the future. Also, the fact he's from an alternate timeline, like there's enough there to make him his own character.
I'm not saying that like that the cliche is a good cliche, because like some people like it, some people don't. But
well, the main thing to keep in mind is it's a like a cliche is a tool. It's like using a hammer. Like anybody could bash their skull open with a hammer on accident if they're not using a hammer, right? Point is, like, if you don't use your tool right, you're gonna mess up.
Yeah, so people
like,
need to
use
stop
a cliche
hitting,
properly.
So people need to stop hitting screws with this hammer.
Exactly.
Hit a nail.
Broly smash.
I know.
Yeah, he just punches the damn thing. All right, but that's all I got. That's all I got.
Yeah, I hear you. Hotshot, your turn.
All right, so in my number 4 spot, my number 4 spot, Jaden, I know this is an anime that you don't know that well, but it's an anime that Kyo and I kind of live and breathe at this point.
Zeki Terror. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I'm picking Corset from Panty and Stocking.
Corset from Panty and Stocking. Please regale me.
So Corset is essentially the devil, and because Panty and Stocking is the anime about 2 angels who are stuck in what I assume to be purgatory, and their main villains are 2 demon sisters, and the sisters serve Corset, which is essentially the devil trying to bring about death and destruction to D-City and basically the entire world. You don't really see him a whole lot until the sisters start...
Like, last 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah, that's where you actually see him. In a couple episodes, the demon sisters will be going to this office area, and you'll see shapes, like, you'll see teases of him, you'll see silhouettes of him. It's just a very, like, chilling, uncomfortable vibe that he gives off.
Until you meet the character, and he's actually kind of funny.
He's really funny. He's a really funny character, but the more you watch him, it's just...
like, he's completely covered in, what is it, like belt straps or something?
Like belt straps.
Yeah.
Like straps, basically straps, corset, like his name is, so he, like, keeps tightening his corset. Like, basically...
He keeps, like, basically trying to break circulation off of his body in some places.
Yeah, it's a little hard to watch at times, but when he actually fights, he gives Fanny and Stocking a run for their money.
Yeah.
I'm reading here on the wiki. I'm looking at his character. He is described as a misogynistic mastermind. Do you want to maybe? I don't know. That's kind of a big gulp of information there. What about him is misogynist? I don't want to go to a place that's like uncomfortable if you don't want to talk about it. But I saw that and I was like, what? Like, it's a prejudice against women. What it is?
Because I mean, at the final episode, he's after a key, which is ironically enough in the pants of our main male hero. His dick turns into a key. There's no other way to word that. That's just what happens.
I'm just gonna say this show gets really weird if you ever decide to check it out, Giant.
Watch Fanny and Stocking High. I dare you.
The thing is, I've heard Hotshot describe this anime and characters from this anime many times, and to me, it just the concept of it sounds kind of like too out there for me. If you get what I mean, too pushed.
This is not the worst you could deal with, my friend.
No, I was about to go there. There's way worse out there, and I agree with you. I just guess as an anime viewer myself, there's like certain boundaries that my animes I enjoy fall into, and that for some reason doesn't for me. Maybe later on I will, but for me, it's not one I want. I would grab off the shelf and watch right away. That being said,
and I will respect that for you. Panty and Stocking is in my top 5, however.
No, totally. I guess that this villain, like I'm looking, he really has a corset and he like tightens it like crazy. What's the point of doing that?
I don't know if it's to punish himself or if it's to like gain pleasure to deal with the failure.
I think it's just kind of like a power move in a way. Like, you know how you would, I don't know, like a figurehead above you would probably like try to like show that they have power over you by doing something that looks a little like, for one, uncomfortable, and two, just something that you probably wouldn't do.
Oh, so like let's say
just kind of creep you out in a way.
Let's say that you I'm your boss and you come up to me with bad news.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I start like just shredding paper slowly. Just like, okay, resume. Like just to put you on edge, like what else am I gonna put in here that's important?
Yeah. It also might just be the fact that it's connected to his power, but other than that, I have no idea why.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I have nothing else on Corset, honestly, but I find the concept of this character, the way he's drawn is what I'm trying to say. The artwork concept, very, very interesting. He looks like triangular almost on a lot of these edges.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
That's
but
a lot of how the show is. That's just like the show's design. I really love it.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, interesting, like physical concept there. Yeah, that's all I have on the Corset.
All right, and that's all I got too. So let's move on to you.
I am picking a character that we all know about, a character that we all love, a character that is still considered a villain to me, even though this person does great things towards the end of its anime. This character, in the early goings of this anime, is portrayed as a villain, is referred to as a villain. Later on, the story shows that he was just doing a mission that he had to do. I'm picking Itachi Uchiha.
I don't know him.
Stop lying to yourself. You played his younger brother in the abridged series.
He has a brother?
So Itachi Uchiha, we see him depicted early on into the anime as Sasuke's older brother, the one who killed off the entire Uchiha clan, and basically the reason why Sasuke is emo and has so much hatred is because of Itachi. I really enjoyed Itachi as a villain because we see, well, first of all, I gotta respect him for, I think he was like 14 or something, or like super young, 12 years old when he joined the Anbu. Absolutely insane. Great ninja, just from like a power stance. And then he is completely evil the way he joins the Akatsuki, and he really provides amazing battles within Shippuden and the original Naruto. He's a great villain in my opinion. What are your thoughts on Itachi? All good. So, what are your guys' thoughts on Itachi as a villain on this podcast?
I mean, obviously, I can't really say anything else about Itachi that we haven't said already. He's a great character, he's a great villain, and turns into a great hero. I honestly don't have anything new to say about him.
All right, what about you, Kyo?
I think the reason that like we really see him as a hero is because at the end of the show, we're kind of there with Sasuke throughout the entirety of the discovering like what his brother was actually like. So like we go from seeing him as a horrible human being to realizing that the way that he was doing everything was for the better of the Hidden Leaf Village. So I think that's personally my reason why I think that it works so well.
Does the fact that he's is a part of the Akatsuki does anything for you guys in terms of like how evil is? Does that like add to him being a villain? Or
yeah, I think it adds to it.
Yeah, and in what way though? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out and depict from his character.
Well, I mean, he helps go after the individual Jinchurikis too. He's doing these to the Jinchurikis. He's helping in the removal of the tailed beasts. He's helping hunting them down. He's essentially killing all these people for, he's helping the Akatsuki. Even if he is doing it undercover, he's still doing these heinous crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like these crimes that he's committing and this like being a part of the Akatsuki, I don't know if it outweighs the fact that he does what he does at the end where he defeats Kabuto and releases the Ito Tensei Jutsu, and that's one of the best things he can do because because he gets reanimated, but since he's so good with Genjutsu, he can act of his own will. Also, like maybe just this final point on Itachi, his skill level. Like, what do you guys think of his skill level with all of the Sharingan, Susanoo, Amaterasu, Genjutsu? Like, no, but like seriously, like think about it.
No, yeah, seriously, he's OP.
Oh, I heard you say he's okay.
No, he's OP, overpowered.
Yeah, for sure.
No, yeah, he's okay too. He's overkill.
Oh, nice.
Slick.
All right, so if you guys have nothing else in Itachi, your guys' turn.
I think we're good on Itachi then. All right, so I think I picked something a little unconventional because this character is technically considered the hero of this said anime, but I feel like this kind of just adds to the character. So my pick for this one would be Yuno Gasai from Future Diary.
I love this character so much.
Yuno is one of my favorite characters, period, as well. Like, I absolutely love how she came out, like, in the show. The way it starts out with us kind of being on her side and just really wanting her to accomplish her goals. But as the show goes on, you see that part of it is kind of her fault. And it's pretty clear that what she's doing is just not right. Like, it's already pretty obvious to us as an audience that has a moral standing. But I like to think of Yuno as sort of a very complicated character. Like, she's doing all of these things for somebody that she loves. Though she's obviously doing wrong things, it's not like she's being malicious. She's more so just doing them because she has to. It's like she's kind of accepted that she's a villain, but in a way, the way she comes across, she's not 100% evil, as it were. You know, does that make sense?
It does make sense. Have you seen all of the Future Diary series?
I've seen the entirety of the show, yes.
So what? Okay, spoiler alert. What did you think about the whole twist at the end with two Yunos?
It was a really big twist, and I think it worked out really, really well. I loved how it's something that you could have guessed at, but it wasn't completely impossible to the audience because multiverse concepts were kind of introduced into the show. But I really like how it came. I really like the way it came across. It didn't come off across as like a Deus Ex Machina, no pun intended towards the character there. But it really came off as like a really good twist and a really good story point. I really like the way it came. I really like the way that it came across. It didn't come off gimmicky in my eyes. It actually came off as a very strong way to go about the story.
Right.
So like kind of explain the characters like sudden like change in personality.
Right. I also I don't know how much of her I consider to be evil when you think of the concept that this is a survival game, and also the fact that she's with Yuki the entire time, and basically Yuki's a very sympathetic figure, and so they're portrayed more as a duo. Throughout the entire most of the series. So I mean, I guess she's the more evil half. Yes, she's like bloodlust and like cold-blooded, and will take out anyone who needs to be taken out. I guess that's the evil. Like, is that like what you've pulled out as being her most evil parts, or is there something else that I'm missing?
I mostly just see her as I guess I see her as like a dark character, but the fact that nothing stands in her way and that she's kind of sworn off morality for the most part. Like, the only thing that matters to her is Yuki, and the fact that that's all that she really cares about is really it's interesting to see a character have nothing to lose except for one single thing, and I think that's really, I don't know, it's really interesting and kind of scary to see what a character or what a person is like when they have literally nothing to lose, or that they have one single thing that they could make them snap.
Right, and that's why she comes up with the whole lie with Yuki, if you win, your parents will come back to life and all this stuff, and that's another very evil thing that she does. So I think
it is actually
solid pick. Yeah, solid pick. Is there anything else you want to add, Hotshot?
I haven't seen many episodes of Future Diary, hence why I threw my headphones off essentially. But from what I have seen, I instantly fell in love with her. Again, like Hyo said, a character that has absolutely nothing to lose except one thing, and this one thing being Yuki, especially when the one thing is a person and all, actually. It just kind of drives, have you guys, I know, Kyo, I know you've heard the sign, but have you ever heard the sign that, there's nothing scarier than a man with nothing left to lose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically what I was describing her as.
Yeah, that is incarnate.
Right. And I feel like if you've seen a little bit of, you've seen how crazy she is. Does that add to her evilness to you? Like, do you think that makes her more of an evil persona? The fact that she's so insane and she'll do crazy things?
Honestly, yeah, because a lot of the characters that do stuff like that are evil. I mean, I get that is essentially supposed to be the hero of this anime, but with a whole lot of villainous acts that she does, it's kind of hard to swing that way.
Definitely. Let's swing it your way. What is your next pick, Hotshot?
So this is a character that I just recently ran into, that me and Kyo just recently ran into, actually. Stain, the hero killer from Hero Academia.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Sorry for the listeners for that part of the podcast. Please.
Quite frankly, between the two of us, we once we got started on Hero Academia, we absolutely could not stop.
No.
So that's why we're kind of a little far behind on it. Like right now, we're just on we're still working our way through season 2.
Yeah, because we don't want to lose like the entire day, week, month, or whatever time frame we're working with. We don't want to lose that entire time to Hero, so we have to put it down for a while.
Oh my god, Stain is so good as a villain. Have you seen everything from Stain?
We've seen him get caught.
Up to that point, like where he escapes, that's about as much as we've seen of him so far.
Yeah.
Have you seen him fight against Midoriya or anything like that, or fight against All Might?
We saw him fight Midoriya, Todoroki, and Ida.
Yes. Okay. Good. What did you think about Stain? Please, I gotta hear this.
He's freaky. I don't like him. Okay, I lied. Stain is probably so far my favorite villain in Hero Academia. Especially when it comes to his quirk being able to paralyze anyone whose blood that he tastes, and the fact that not all of his skills are reliant on his quirk. Like, he can actually still fight without using his quirk. And something like that, especially when it comes to a whole lot of characters who use their powers and you never really see fight without powers, I really like seeing that aesthetic to him.
Not to mention, this was supposedly the first... No, not supposedly. This was the first fight where Midoriya had, control over his quirk.
Yeah, and seeing
it was really cool to see him in control of his quirk, like, without breaking any of his body, and still holding off a major villain.
Like, Kyo and I, when we actually saw the fight between Todoroki, Stain, Ida, and Midoriya, when we actually saw the fight when the heroes were actually landing hits against Stain, we actually ooh and ah and like, we actually did what you're kind of supposed to do when you see impacts on shows. Him as a character, with him just wanting to purge the world of all heroes, all pros, it's
kind of the same story, or the same idea as the character Syndrome from Incredibles. So like, he wants to return. Doesn't he basically want to return the world to like the glory days of heroes?
Yeah, he wants to return the world.
Real heroes are not like
celebrities. Yeah. He wants to return the world the way it was, where heroes were essentially more like vigilantes, and then he wants to be a hero.
Right. He hates the society of, like, these false heroes. Like, not everyone can be a hero. He basically is, like, the anti-All Might, which I really, enjoyed about him. And also, like, let's not forget the fact that this guy's a murderer. Like, I think he's murdered, like, 17 or 23 heroes, something crazy like that. I mean, Ida's older brother is dead because of this guy.
He's not dead.
Or damaged or whatever.
He's in the hospital. He can't use his legs anymore. He can't.
Yeah, basically he's out of commission is what I meant. Sorry.
But
this guy did
Stain, the hero killer, he does have confirmed kills under his name.
No, for sure. And the thing is also what he did to Ida's brother, and the way it shifted Ida's personality and everything, and it really like affected him like emotionally, mentally, all of the above, is another like it shows the impact that this character has had on like our main cast on Class 1A.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the fact that like Ida, the one who you think has the most level-headed calmness when it comes to actually being a hero and doing hero work. Like, even in the drills, he couldn't bring himself to act like a villain in the drills because of like how heroic and charismatic he actually is. But then even he falls prey to like revenge and wanting to kill Stain and stuff like that. Even someone as high as that can fall victim to this kind of thing.
Absolutely. Stain is a great pick. I think you should have made him your first pick, like to start out strong. But yeah, no, great pick. I love Stain. Amazing villain.
All right, and I think if we all got what we need to say on Stain, I think it's Jaiden's turn.
Tis my turn. This is my fourth pick. Oh my god. I don't know who to go with first. I'm gonna go with
that one.
Boros. Boros from One Punch Man. He is the final villain from One Punch Man, and he is absolutely like amazing. I really enjoyed Boros because basically his shtick, he's the leader of his platoon of aliens, and they travel the universe to find like human planets with like life on it and destroy them and see if he can find someone who's like worth his a challenge from him, who gives him a challenge. And well, that's basically what Saitama is, minus the traveling the universe part, because Saitama never finds a challenge. Finally, Boros meets Saitama and they match up, and it's an incredible battle, and Boros really goes all out. Goes Saitama. Is Saitama ever gonna go all out? We don't know yet. And I really enjoyed his how can I explain it? His personality, where he's prideful and he's like, finally someone who's worth my time. I've traveled the universe, blah 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 blah. And then Saitama goes, okay, shut up, this is taking too long, let's fight already. Like, I really enjoyed he has that like classic, the villains that just talk forever and ever. He has that to him, but he was just such a good match against Saitama, and I really enjoyed what he brought, because he really represents the final arc of One Punch Man, the first season at least. Remember how like Frieza is one of your favorite villains, right? It's one that you truly enjoy. What I wanted to like bring up about Boros is that Boros is similar to Frieza in the sense that he has his spaceship, he has his minions, and he destroys planets, and he has this bloodlust because he wants to find someone who's worth his challenge. So very similar to Frieza. Do you feel like villains such as these, where they have their minion, they have their spaceship, and they go around destroying planets, is that like something that you would be considering like super evil, or something that's just it's kind of overdone? I'd be curious to know your opinion on that.
I mean, you're destroying planets. That's evil.
Well, it's not. Right, it's not really overdone? A question of whether or not if it's evil. I think the real question is like, is that an enjoyable archetype? Again, it goes back to the hammer argument that I made earlier. But I would have to say that I think that it's an interesting idea to have an overall leader who at first is sort of like kind of small and just doesn't it doesn't appear all that threatening to begin with, but once you've made your way through like the halls and halls of bad guys and his minions and everything, to find that he's the center of it all. He is essentially the final boss character that you have to fight before gaining your victory, as it were. I find that to be a really good villain. It depends on, of course, as I said before, it depends on how you use it. But yeah, I guess the ultimate answer I would have to give you is that yes, that is a villain that I enjoy, but as long as it's handled well. And I think the best way that it has been handled from my memory has been, for example, Frieza, probably Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars is a really good example of that.
Right. Hotshot, what about you? Is that archetype of villain something that you enjoy, or is something that you think is a good archetype, or is it the same thing where it has to be well done, or else you're just not going to enjoy it?
It has to be well done, because honestly, to me, I feel like it's just a cheap way of saying, oh, look how powerful I am. It's just like, okay,
because he has all these people under him?
Well, I mean, yeah, like, okay, you destroy planets. Why don't you fly off this one and destroy the one that the hero's on? Instead of giving him a chance to stop you.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay, no, very interesting point. Okay, so Hotshot, go ahead for your turn.
I'm going to save the bigger one for last, so I'm going to go with Numu, also from Hero Academia.
A great artificial pick.
Honestly, there's not too much to say about him either. He's kind of the Hero Academia equivalent of, should we say, like, Broly? Like, he's damn near indestructible.
I'd say he's more indestructible than Broly, frankly.
I completely disagree with that.
Agree to disagree?
No, because
We've seen Broly damaged. We haven't really seen Numu damaged.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? You've seen Nomu damaged?
Yeah, but it took the entirety of 3 episodes to kill him? Took a
it
movie
took one dude. It took All Might. That's all it took.
Yeah, but it took him quite a while to do it, and he was running on empty.
Right, but like All Might was one guy, and he was able. It's like, okay, his quirk is able to like shock absorption, right, or whatever is the way you want to describe it. But there's a limit to it, right? What it took for All Might is to go all the way through and like destroy him with his own power. What it took to take out Broly was every single other character to give their power to Goku in order to defeat Broly. So there was much more of an effort to destroy Broly, in my opinion, than Numu.
We haven't seen Numu's lifeless body, so he's still alive somewhere.
No, Numu is long gone. That I am not spoiling anything, okay? Plus, you can create cyber Numus or whatever you want to call them. Like the Numu is an idea that they want to like. It's an artificial thing. They can create artificial
right,
like.
So it keeps happening. You can never kill Numu. He's always here.
Okay, if Church had gone, I'm picking every single Numu.
Yes. They all share a name, meaning they all share an identity.
Oh god.
I understand what you're trying to say, but I think it took way more of an effort to take out Broly than to take out Numu. Like that's like.
I think the difference is that more so you feel a little more the desperation with Hero Academia, because the characters in Hero Academia are like in their training stages. This is like as strong as it gets, and it took All Might to kill Numu. And, like, that's their trump card. And on top of that...
Anime's equivalent to Superman.
Like, 20 Supermans, basically. But, my point is that I think that there's more fear towards Numu than there is for Broly. Because, I think that the way that they're handled is the difference here. Because the way that Broly is presented... He's presented at first as being a sort of strong character, like in the first movie. But, admittedly, it does take just, like, one thing to, like, it just takes a split second of just being told Kakarot for him to snap and, like, let loose completely.
Right. Like, fair point on that, but I feel like this whole fear thing that you're describing, that there is more of Unumu. Of course there is. He broke into the training session. Like, this was an unexpected thing where they're still in training, and then this life thing that was designed to destroy All Might shows up randomly. Of course there's going to be more fear, but like at the point where we're talking about Broly, like these people, like say Vegeta, Goku, they had like multiple fights under their belt. So I feel like comparing those two, it's like a big difference. They're not in the same point in their, I guess, career as fighters. You see what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're still training. Like, Class 1A has not like had as big of a challenge as the Dragon Ball Z, as the Z fighters at that point. And I wanted to bring up another point, but I'm forgetting what it was. If it comes back to me, I'll mention it. Great pick. Yeah, I enjoy Numu. Yeah.
Okay. So that goes back over to Austin then?
All right. So for my number 4, this is another fairly recent villain that I enjoy the show so much that I binged through it in 3 days.
Which one?
The only show that I've actually finished on there. And I'm picking Croy.
Would you say this? Oh, okay, wrong one.
Yeah,
my mistake.
I'm picking Croy from Little Witch Academia.
Croy from Little Witch Academia. Okay, talk to me about Croy.
Do you know about Croy?
I know very little about my hero. Oh my god, no, I don't. You see, I call it My Hero Academia. I don't know Croy. Please explain Croy.
I was hoping that this would happen. Anyway,
actually, is that why you asked me?
That's why I asked you. Yeah, I mean, I have every intention of telling you about Croy, but I was hoping that you'd get the Academias mixed up.
Go ahead.
Anywho, so Croy is one of those other underhanded undercover villains where in the main series she comes in as what's seemingly a genuine teacher character where it seems like all she wants to do is broaden what the old witches are thinking, where traditional magic is all that we've known, or traditional magic is all that we need. When Croy comes in and infuses old-timey magic with technology and shows them how technology can actually advance their magic and make their magic stronger and make their defenses stronger and etc. etc. But when you get to know her for a few episodes, she's actually gathering data to build this ultimate... I don't remember what the end goal was, unfortunately. Do you?
Dang, it's been a while since I watched that show.
But she's basically gathering data, and she makes a massive bomb to basically fill the world with like never-ending rage. Like she has these data collectors that will literally gather emotions and magical powers from whoever they touch, and she will absorb it into herself and make her own magic stronger.
Huh. That's actually pretty cool. I like the whole. I guess her abilities are more in the technology verse. Would that be correct? Like she's more like technology.
Yeah, the character is more so using technology than magic, but there is magic involved. So that's one of the things that I really liked about Little Witch is that it's actually taking like modern concepts and also fusing fantasy with it. So that's one of the things I think is that it has up on Harry Potter, because, like, for one, I'm personally not a big Harry Potter fan, but I am a very, very big fan of Little Witch Academia.
No, fair enough. I am interested in seeing this show now that you described this villain. Like, is Croy like the villain throughout the entire series, or is this like an arc villain?
She's sort of like a surprise villain, so like she comes in later on in the show. Like, would you say halfway, Austin?
I'd say she comes in halfway, and then she's revealed to be the villain, like, in the final few episodes. Like
like the last 5 or 4.
Like the last 5 or 4, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the greatest rivalry that she has with, like, the sweetest, most caretaking character in the entire freaking series.
Huh. That's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check out Little Witch Academia.
It's actually one of the very few animes or shows in general, actually, that me and Kyo started together, and I finished without him.
Well then, it's just that good. How many episodes?
I think 24.
24?
It's more than 12.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure it's more than 24, wasn't it?
We're actually gonna have to double check on that.
I know myanimelist.net.
Huh?
myanimelist.net.
Oh,
Always
I got
plug.
an app for that. I'm not even
great.
kidding.
Seriously?
Me too.
Yeah, there's an app
Seriously?
for it.
Yeah,
well, it's literally...
Well, no, I was saying seriously that he has one too.
Oh, you have one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, like you just pretty much just like list what episode you're on, so that way you can keep track of your
Okay,
stuff.
then search Little Witch real quick.
Okay,
We'll see
I
how
think I
many is
have it
on
in
there.
my already watched list.
I mean, as you do that, I can go to, I guess this is my final pick.
Yep, we're on our finals already.
So I want to pick, as my final pick, I want to pick the Titan for the very first episode of Attack on Titan, who ends up eating Aaron's mother. This is no spoiler.
It's a very specific Titan.
Yeah, no. I'm picking this Titan because, spoiler alert, sorry, this Titan comes back in season 2 of Attack on Titan towards the end, and I want to just go back to like, I know a Titan like that isn't a mastermind or isn't a smart person. They're just basically like an oversized human that you need to cut the back of the neck of to kill. But it was the pain, the emotion, the fear, the everything that this Titan brought upon Eren, and we seen Eren in the first few episodes like have the strength to him and this tenacity because of like I want to kill every single Titan and see what they've done to my family. I want revenge for that, and it's basically what this Titan was, the emotion that the Titan instilled within Eren that really makes me think that it's a worthy villain to mention. I really enjoyed the comeback of this Titan, but before I get to that, have you guys seen this scene I'm describing, the very first episode of Attack on Titan?
Many times.
Yes.
What went through your mind? Like, please.
I mean, honestly, at the moment, there wasn't really a whole lot more going through my mind other than all the other Titans. Like, okay, they just totally destroyed this little kid's life, and because I didn't really think of Eren as the main character. I just thought of it as like, this is what we're hiding from. This is what we refuse to fight, and then it's just numb. And I mean, being eaten alive like that, especially by a giant like that, is a hell of a way to go, and it's freaky. And not to mention, literally every single Titan design is scary as hell, especially in the games.
For sure, for sure. What about Yukio?
For me, I see the Titans as kind of like the equivalents of the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. That's kind of what you... it's kind of like what you come to see when you come to see it. Like, you're not as interested in the characters. Like, I personally really like the characters in Jurassic Park 1, but...
I really want there to be a scene of a Titan eating a lawyer. In a toilet.
That's very specific, but okay.
That's the most iconic scene in Jurassic Park.
That's true. I was gonna say, for me personally, the like the Titans are some of the coolest creature designs I've seen. Like, I really like how every single one of them is absolutely horrifying. Like, I think it's a really good design choice to have creatures that look almost exactly like us, but are completely different from us and have, like, no cognitive thought. Like, they're completely, they're completely, animals or monsters in a way. Like, that's what I love about it.
Oh, for sure. I completely agree with that. But specifically, the moment when that Titan ate Eren's mother, like, what did that do for you?
It's chilling and it's horrifying.
Especially because that one is so
yeah.
up close when it happens.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this Titan comes back in season 2. And we basically, the end of season 2 is basically the clash of the Titans. I know this has been used so many times, but it's literally Eren Yeager being captured by other humans that can transform into Titans and his squad, like Bertolt and all of them, and they have to get Eren back. And so they go to the Titan forest is where they bring Eren. So all the scouts go to that forest, and what ends up happening is that there's basically this big war, Titans versus humans, and it's an insane battle. And then Eren manages to break free, and finally, out of the blue, comes back the Titan that ate Eren's mother. And Eren's emotions, Eren's everything just falls up into pieces. And it was so amazing because it turns out that Eren has this ability to control Titans, and he gets his revenge where he's like, he yells at the Titan, "Leave me alone," and then he just throws a punch towards the Titan, and as he does that, this other Titan flies into the air and jumps onto the Titan that killed Eren's mother. And this Titan gets eaten alive by the other Titans, and it's just an insane like rise and fall arc for me. Do you see what I mean? Like, we see this Titan take away his mother, right? And then he gets his revenge at the end of season 2. Like, that's what like really makes me think that this Titan is worth a villain spot.
Yeah, I totally agree, man.
Yeah.
All right, your guys' turn.
Garrett, you're up.
All right. I do want to throw in an honorable mention for the villain from the series Akame ga Kill. I don't recall the name of this character, but I do remember really enjoying said villain when they came into play. But anyhow, my final pick is the character Salem from Ruby. I believe it's...
And before all you
3.
haters start on us, yes, it is a canon anime. The creator said it was an anime, therefore it is an anime.
I disagree. No, go ahead.
Yeah. I would say that I would say the thing that puts this character on the list for me is it is another character kind of like the character father, but it's more interesting to see a female character. So this is a female character, by the way. This character is more interesting to me because she is very soft-spoken. She's very she appears very kind to her underlings. However, her outbursts do make you worry. Like, what is her power? Like, what exactly can she do? Like, I'm a little further behind than most people are with Ruby right now, but I would definitely say she is
She is
personal
a
top
chills.
tier.
She is a chills down your spine villain.
Yeah, she's chilling, and it's clear that she is very powerful. Like, she wouldn't have this position, and she wouldn't live where she lives if she wasn't extremely powerful.
So what's her abilities? Do you know? Like what? Her
I
powers
don't think I've
exactly?
watched enough of it to get to that point, though.
We
unless
haven't
Austin's seen it.
we haven't seen her fight. Is the thing. Like again, we're a bit further behind in Ruby than a lot of other people are.
I think
but-
we're on like season 4, like almost at the end of season 4.
Something like that. I honestly.
Wait,
don't
it's
know.
been 4 seasons, and it's still not been revealed what she can do. Is what you're
Well,
guessing.
because
Well, it's in
she
season
didn't come-
5 right now. I'm not sure.
Well, because she didn't come in until like later in season 4, and in season 3, at the fall of Beacon, she was revealed to be the one like behind Cinder's actions, the mastermind behind it all. Like she's basically the go my underlings kind of character, but her appearance and her aura around her is so chilling that when you don't know what she can do, she's actually more threatening.
Yeah.
I guess, but I mean, I feel like if you've not seen the action, to me, like picking as the greatest anime villain, I don't know if it's like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Is that fair, or am I just looking too much into it?
You're looking too much into it.
I think it's more so that he hasn't seen the character, so...
Well, he hasn't really seen the show.
No, but like it's like
period.
you haven't seen her abilities, you haven't seen what like kind of punch she can pack, and it's like you guys are picking it. I'm just trying to understand how if there's not that much basis for it.
Well, sometimes it's not what you see, it's so much as what you don't see, like kind of leaving things in question. If this is the like your first thought would be like, why is this person in charge? And clearly has power over these other characters. It's just like, why don't these characters sweep out under her and take over? It's because she's too powerful.
This is what we've seen essentially from her. The characters who rule under her or go under her, they do anything they can for her praise and avoid all of her punishment. The characters who have fought her have nothing but fear. Like the ones who have fought her before refuse to fight her again. And
what would be her main goal as a villain? I'm sorry if
total
you
world
already said it.
destruction.
I thought
Basically,
it
like-
was world domination.
World
It's one of the
domination
two.
and world destruction, but mainly
I think that you can't have both. If you destroy the world, there's no more world
Well,
to
it
dominate.
seems like destruction is more of her style because, I mean, we've seen Beacon. We've seen what happens to Beacon. She wants everything to die.
Everything?
Everything.
Okay, fair enough.
My final pick is from Danganronpa. It is the mastermind behind all of the despair and all of the heartbreak in this series, and it is Junko Enoshima. And she dies in the first
dead?
episode.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you might as well describe the character before like getting to the end, right?
I said the first episode she dies. That's not the
Right.
end.
Well, yeah, when you died, that's the end.
Nope.
She comes back?
Kinda.
Okay,
It's
so
a very
why are you
confusing-
picking
It's
this
a
character?
very confusing game/anime. So
Right, so
Monokuma
Yeah, well-
is the face villain of the Danganronpa series. He is the bear who controls all of the trials. He controls all of the murders. And basically, if you go up against Monokuma, you will be instantly killed until either the Blackened goes free or you end up getting free yourselves, which he does not expect to happen. But Monokuma, the bear, is a puppet controlled by a mastermind who is eventually revealed to be Junko Enoshima. So when I said that she dies in the first episode,
It's apparently her twin sister.
yep. So she actually is...
evil.
What?
That's evil.
Yep. So what happens is essentially that she is so mastermind and so underhanded that her sister, who looks exactly like her despite one facial feature, I'm not going to spoil that part, even though I'm spoiling literally everything else,
I was gonna say.
stands up against Monokuma. And when she stands up against Monokuma, there is no hesitation in order to just spike and kill her sister instantly. And as she's looking around, it's actually revealed that the sister had no idea that this would happen, that Junko is acting against what they planned, and killed her on the spot for going up against her.
Huh.
And she is the one in charge of the execution. She's the one who's planning all this game. And there is no end goal. The only end goal for her at this point is to fill the world with despair. That's it. There is no world domination. There is no world destruction. There is no I want to be number one. It is just to make others feel like crap.
It's
Ability
interesting
to
that they
sense talent,
specifically...
hope, and despair.
Exactly.
That's what I'm reading here.
It's interesting that they specifically say despair. Like, despair is another word for... it's a simile for grief.
Right.
Or wait, no, synonymous with grief.
Yeah. So like,
and it's more so interesting that she's not only clinically insane, but
well,
it's also the fact that she is more than likely a sociopath. She has no empathy for anyone, not even for herself. Like apparently according to the show that I watched, she died at the end of the show. Like she lost the very game that she put into motion, and she took her death with a smile.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really chilling character, like, to see, like, you think you know the character, and then at the end, it does a complete 180 on you, and you're completely surprised by it. And it's a really, I think it's a strong anime twist, but I feel like it wasn't a very strong mystery twist, because, like, you couldn't have guessed it, like, right off the bat. But okay, well, not right off the bat, but like you couldn't have like picked up on it later.
She greets her death with a smile. She sends despair over to the world, and in Danganronpa 2, she actually is in that one because that one is actually in a virtual world, and she comes in at the final moments and is revealed to be the one behind that as well.
Damn. Okay, so. Would you say she's like a bit of a mastermind? I mean, she's a
mastermind. She's the one planning the games. She's the one who's planning all of Danganronpa. And
oh wow, whoa. Okay. That's how. That's wow. Okay, well.
And that's how you drop it like it's hot.
And real quick, this is the last thing I have to say on her. I actually wasn't originally gonna put Junko in my list. This is actually courtesy of. What's her YouTube name? I actually don't remember.
Miraculous Yuki.
Who unfortunately couldn't join us for this podcast. I do totally agree with her that this is a phenomenal villain. She is in my top 3. I just wasn't going to mention her because Miraculous Yuki beat me to it.
Fair enough. And yes, shout out to Yuki. We would love to have you on tonight. It would have been amazing, but you know, life is life. All right, so that's everything for the podcast. Let's close it up because I think this is going to be the longest podcast we've done ever.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys do like a 2-hour one at one point?
No, don't think so.
No.
Well, I looked through your guys' playlist a couple weeks ago, and I was like, have they breached 2 hours? I could have sworn that I saw at least one that breached 2 hours.
We've breached like an hour and 20. I think that's as far as we've gone.
Hotshot, what was your list? So to remind the people.
Alright, so my list was... in a moment. See, this is why I typed it. My list was Corset from Panty and Stocking, Stain from Hero Academia, Wrath from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Croy from Little Witch Academia, and Junko Enoshima from Danganronpa.
All right, my list was Boros from One Punch Man, Broly from Dragon Ball Z, Vicious from Cowboy Bebop, Itachi from Naruto, and the Titan from Attack on Titan. What about you, Kyo?
My list was Father from Fullmetal Alchemist, Goku from Dragon Ball Super, Goku Black from Dragon Ball Super, Gasai from Future Diary, Salem from Ruby, and Numu from Hero Academia.
Very much so. All right, so before we close out, do you guys want to plug your stuff? Go ahead. I'll go first. Sure. My channel is JaianMusic, so youtube.com/JaianMusic. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/JaianMusic for that, and the other places you can just look up anime podcasters in your favorite podcatcher. And JaianMusic.com if you want to hire me for any audio services. Go ahead, Hotshot. Where can people find you?
You guys can find me right here on Jaden's channel because I never leave. He never lets me out. You guys can also find me over on my channel, Hotshot Ginger. I promise there will be uploads at some point. You guys can also find me over on Twitter at Caution Ginger. Yo.
All right. You guys can find me on Twitter at GoProKyo /twitter.com. And you can also find me on YouTube at GoProKyo. If you folks want to hire me for any artwork reason, go ahead and find my contact information in the on said channel, or just send me a direct message. And I will be working on some small abridged stuff on a little reimbursed channel called Daydreamer Studios.
I'm there too.
Yeah, he's there too.
I'll be there if I'm allowed to be, but I would love to be there.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do with you.
You're forbidden.
You're forbidden.
You peed on
You're
the rug.
blacklist.
That rug was asking for it.
Well, I mean, it was Jaden, so yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's basically everything. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Anime Podcasters. Thank you to Kyo, Hotshot. Like, seriously, thank you guys so much for getting us to episode 40. Crazy, crazy number. We'll see. We're going to podcast until the wheels break off this thing. All right. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you in the next episode. I'll see you. Hotshot might see you. Or I don't know who will see who. We have guests lined up, by the way, guys. We have actual guests that are going to be coming down the podcast. I'll just spoil one of them. Retro Gamer, who did Cloud9 with us, is going to be a guest on one of the podcasts that are coming up. So stick ahead. You'll see when that comes out. Thank you guys so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.